So nothing like 2023 when everything works except pulse audio sometimes. Welcome everyone to second try of latest and greatest state-of-the-art digital DEC Alpha AXP 64-bit freaking reduced instruction set Linux from decades ago. Final release testing and quality assurance engineering here. We already, I also actually wanted to boot this live, obviously. Yes, still running this in QEMU. So thumbnail is in Hewlett Packard HP PA risk. Because yeah, still, so hardware, like share, like, subscribe, Patreon, hardware donations welcome, or affordable sale. There recently was one on German eBay, 533 megahertz DEC Alpha for 300. I nearly wanted to buy it, but someone else was faster. But yeah, nothing like 2023, and you need to pay 300 euro for having a 2-decade-old machine to test your state-of-the-art Linux. But of course, that is a cost of running enterprise-grade Linux in 2023. Yes. So, having that, of course, running latest and greatest, also not RU. So we have some things to do, as usual, some win-win, because so the one last thing we have to do is wiring up bootloader stuff, and then yes, eventually microkernel. But there's always a win-win of testing stuff. So that is, let's see, DH client. I hope that works. Performance is reasonable, okay, in QEMU, to my surprise. So that is the latest release, right? From, or not yet the latest, not yet released. T2 23.5 built from just these days. And so let's do some quality testing. Check out HTTPS. And then we have some more work to do, which I had, of course, on my to-do. Yeah, whatever. Is it just the date? Invalid ATF? What? Probably. Fat fingers it. We have some work to do and some win-win, because before the live stream I realized why do we not have boot? Because I know Rock Linux times we had actually supported that, and that surprised me. And I figured out, wait a second, what is the setup thing here? And I even forgot. So decades ago in Rock Linux T2's Rock Linux history, we had this setup here, post-install setup stuff. And so actually, there actually was bootloader, boot glue, that's just bitrotten. And then I was, wait a second, how many more packages actually have a bitrotten outdated setup thing? And actually, except some readme, which is like, yeah, do we really need that there? Because usually we don't have that. But somehow in elf2a out, also nothing like WVI, we have the similar thing for Zilo, which I have not even an idea how that came there. Maybe we SVN CP'd Zilo to elf2a out once in history. You can actually edit elf2 out for Spark, updated Zilo. Yes, so maybe revision 532, and it's like, yeah, not making this stuff up that I do this for 25 years. In nearly exactly 20 years ago, maybe I SVN CP'd Zilo to elf2 out and didn't realize that there was some outdated setup thing. We can, like, I mean, it looks like that, so nothing like, yeah, and so wait, why is this why is here some elf2a out? Zilos, wait, I don't know, maybe this, no, actually, no, someone had to intentionally, so yeah, in retrospect, I have no idea how this elf2 out setup thing ended up here. But nothing like some spring cleaning, the last days of spring, and SVN RMing some, where do we even have this? So we have this in elf, I don't know, elf2a out setup, and superfluous. I always misspell this. Did I spell it correctly too? No, of course I didn't. Yeah, English. English, difficult language. If just all the world would speak German, French or something. Anyway, remove very outdated and superfluous F2 setup there. However, it got in there 20 years ago. But sometimes it takes 20 years to find some good bitrot. So then, let's delete that here too. So that is of course the DEC virtual DEC alpha. Nothing like emerging, like testing your system stability with emerging, something like neofetch. And so then we do aboot, which ironically some years ago live on this channel I actually wired up aboot for bootable DEC alpha boot CD support. I wonder, do they have SMP support that we could? Okay, fine. While this is scrolling by, so as I said, we have a setup thing for aboot that is similar outdated. Here. So what does it do? Setup. So this is some super old-fashioned stuff from. So this copyright note is outdated. So that is of course generating a very simple aboot. Notice you have a boot partition. That means that all kernel paths are relative to boot. No, thank you very much. 20 years ago when you had nodes like that. So is there some white switch root? Oh. Isomark boot. Ah, there's S right. Ah, is it S right or did I think there's even a typo in this. It's like 2023. I mean, it's in retrospect. The thing is, Claire actually. I think I remember that Claire from Rock Linux creator fame. I think she offered me her DEC alpha in. I don't even know what speed it was, but I think in Vienna, like in 2000 or something, or 2002, or it's like, hey, you want to take this DEC alpha with you? I was like, I have too much to do. It's like 20 years later, like, dude, why did I not take this DEC alpha with me? Like, I wonder if it ended up in some landfill or recycling, or probably some other friend or stuff. So yeah, I think this is as right boot. It's like 20 years later. I finally want to use the DEC alpha, and of course, the first time it's like, yeah, already 20 years ago, very many people with the DEC alpha. So the thing is, we need to completely rewrite that though. And so how do we do that? We probably, you know what, we rename that to stone mod aboot, I believe. SH, I need to check. Yes, stone mod SH. And then we will actually cat the Zilo one over that, because we anyway need to mostly rewrite it in modern setup to 1 style. And people like to troll me with no audio. Yeah, the other stream didn't have audio. So yeah, we will cat that over there. And so I rewrote that to preserve that aboot setup history from 20 years ago. And then I recycle some more modern code here. And then we SED like either, let's first grab, okay, neofetch, we know neofetch for all this goodness. Does it even, yeah, CPU EV67. Yeah. You know what? Let's reboot that. I believe shutdown. I believe on reboot it. I also need some paper. I'm back in a second. find my mouse cursor. And so do they support SMP for some architectures? They do. SMP, oh wow, do they? I wonder how stable that is and what performance we get. Because this mounting hangs suspiciously low. Oh no, it does something. Is it slower? Don't tell me SMP2 is slower than. But yeah, with virtualization, emulation and stuff, it's like that. So grep. So let's substitute all this stuff from Zilo. Oh, stone. Yeah, so basically we have capital, lowercase. Okay, let's SED in place, Zilo to A boot, globally per line, and then what is the alpha A boot? What is the official capitalization thing? Okay, maybe just A boot, just so that it looks nice. So A boot, and how many more occurrences? Okay, these were all amazing. Because so this recycles from Zilo all the, I don't want to recode this right. Of course, you always copy similar matching code. Don't write everything from scratch. For determining whether it is some separate boot partition and so on. And does it let's test. Yeah, those CPUs are detective too, so they really support SMP. Well, I slightly wonder. You know what? For a performance comparison, let's rebuild Neo Fetch, although it doesn't really build much. But just to get an idea if this SMP stuff actually improves performance or just kills it for synchronization and whatnot, virtualization overhead. Because then we have ADM package Neo Fetch. Okay, it actually improved performance, maybe. For some stuff that can, yeah, it's not too bad. So, we can test general stability while we still work. It's also best with DHCP. So, A boot. So what we need to adapt here in this is. By the way, do we have, okay, this is renamed A bootloader, A boot conf. So where did, I believe I had some A bootloader stuff. So the config file is where is even init to modules at boot time 0. Okay, it's not documented here. Thank you very much. Text, data, and basic that is file on object file. Yeah. So where do they want to have it? Oh, right. You know what? I believe I figured that out. I think I read last year the freaking menu already. So we should have architecture alpha boot ISO code here. Hopefully. Init ID equals something. So etc A boot conf. The question is, so yeah, alpha is alpha index. So it's just actually. Okay, so Lua even comes up. I mean, for a completely abandoned vintage and retro architecture, the stack alpha works. It's in a surprisingly stable and usable state. Not like Zilo or other things are usually more broken. And also GCC, right? And that's latest GCC binutils and so on. So we mostly install A boot install let's completely mistyping stuff. Boot disk, SED, S write boot disk. What does it even do? Oops. S write boot. Maybe it writes something in some boot. Boot Linux on the hard disk. Boot S write boot dev SDA. Okay, so it's probably writing the first stage boot code or so. Probably. I believe I saw here boot LX is a boot, actually a boot executable, either an ecorf or elf, and contains only the text. Data and is a file, is not an object file. Do we have that in our package, hopefully? Yeah, boot LX is actually the only thing we have there. Good, so we need to write that, and where do they want the aboot? Or maybe it loads the aboot conf from the building manner quickly becomes tedious. Aboot allows to define shorthand for frequent. So yeah, it's super. This is bootloader design from 25 years ago, right? Not the biggest fan of this hacked bootloader things. So basically, so this is just what this is partition, I believe. So yeah, we need to, with this configuration, the command boot disk A0 FL1. Yeah, wonderful. So we need, basically we need to boot the boot device and whether like basically some /boot and kernel list. So this format is, so basically we need some, let's reuse architecture alpha boot. Let's use the same alpha index here just because, and so that would be, this is also first. Let's alpha index, because why not? So alpha index, and so basically, okay, this anyway doesn't have labels, so we don't need that anyway. At least I believe it doesn't have labels. So for all kernels, sorted, increment alpha index. This label we don't need, and then do you know what we could? How does it work? Does it? This is post increment, right? So it starts at 0. Okay, amazing. So then we can just do that here, like you would in C. And so alpha index, and then partition. Let's do this in a second. Then, okay, not calling partition. Okay, we need this that because we immediately follow with the kernel name. So that would be boot path X. And then okay, this could actually, do we have this compressed? Oh, I have this compressed, amazing. Do we, okay, then we can actually ls also compressed variants. Okay, no, okay, yeah, actually better do the compressed variants. Do we even need the version? For the init RD. Version equals that. Did this work? I always forget if reassigning this in one. Maybe it doesn't work like that. Maybe it needs a semicolon. Always, otherwise it always surprises me. Version and remove the gset if any. And so here's the path, so image, boot path X, label it doesn't have. And then where's the init RD? Alpha index init RD equals init RD equals, and then the root device and theoretically RO if it does support that. And is it all? Yeah, root, single and whatnot. And then what else do we need? So also create a boot conf. I would say we want. Okay, let's maybe leave it in boot. Yeah, man, let's be on the safe side. Okay, that it probably, yes, so that it doesn't have all of this. Don't need for now. Create this in new input conf. So yeah, theoretically we don't need all these spaces here. Also, you know, theoretically we can use this optimization. Okay, so this doesn't work like this. We will do this in a second. Where do we have? So this looks relatively good. A boot, bootloader, setup, root device, boot path is all similar to Zelo. Okay, this is probably mostly okay-ish. How do you call the starter to convert? Not to say completely unfunctional. I should have done this on the alpha, but somehow I didn't. S right, so what was the S right? Was it not here? S right boot. Since E to write boot command may fail on highly fragmented. What floppy? Freaking floppy? And you had me at floppy installation. Highly fragmented disk, and since remoting hard disk is not without pain, it is generally safer to install a boot on the hard disk. Yeah, no kidding. Using the swrite boot command, swrite requires that the first few sectors are reserved for boot purposes. We suggest that the disk is partitioned such that the first partition starts at an offset of 2048 sectors. I believe I did that already. Maybe. Yeah, 2048. Also maybe we're just lucky. But it's probably fine. So, okay, swrite boot. So, on systems where partition is the entire, what, partition C is the iron, what? On systems where partition C, to force the write of a boot, since In this case, use the F followed by the partition number. This leaves 1 megabyte of space storing a boot on a properly partitioned disk. It is then possible to install a boot as the following, but probably this needs the darn, no, nothing like quitting you QM1. Nothing like being too quick on the trigger, here. This stuff. Hello. I mean, the only pro of doing this in QEMU, it is consuming less electricity, it is not as loud, dusty, and you can do this. Hello, what is going on here with this? I have the feeling there's some SMP issue, but no. So as right, I have the feeling this needs, yes, open boot file, what? I have the feeling this needs a full pass, so this is probably disk label couldn't get a valid disk label. What? Existing disk label is corrupted. What the heck? Why would it say that? Is it miscompiled or what problem does it have now? Existing disk label is corrupted. Corresponds to things like PCI bus device numbering and are not useful to the user. Remember, as mentioned, that SRM knows nothing about partitions and disk labels. It merely reads a boot block and secondary bootstrap from sectors in the disk. Therefore, the partition number is given parts of the partition number is given as part of the boot file name. Disk label is partition table. Unfortunately, there are several formats. Those partition tables are the standard. Alpha BIOS systems and every Linux kernel can read DOS. Unfortunately, SRM console boot sector format overlaps with parts of the DOS partition table. Therefore, DOS partition table cannot be used with SRM. Now that's BSD disk labels are used. But several, including yada yada, disk label is entirely used in reserved areas for sector. Linux can use disk label boot from disk. To boot from disk using SRM, a BSD disk label is required. If the disk is not a boot disk, the BSD disk label is what? If the disk is not a boot disk, a BSD disk label can be created using fdisk. That's fine. That is first. Start fdisk. Choose to make option B in your version will detect existing disk label and automatically enter disk label mode. Device null does not contain a BSD disk label. You want to create a BSD disk label? Okay, that's not entirely super cool. So much to I pre-installed that just to install it again. The more you learn. Did I even? Oh wait, this boot's so wrong. Yeah, 2023, and you use old-fashioned BSD disk label things, but then at least you can. So that probably, unfortunately, also means we need to actually expand our per architecture auto partitioning things. Do you want to create? Yes, create. There is no BSD partition. Why does it warn that? There is no BSD partition. Why do you want to create a BSD disk label? Why does it freaking... What the heck? You can't make this shit up. You notice some things. Partitions are letters instead of numbers. From A to H partition C covers the whole of the disk. There is the convention, don't touch it. You can create a new partition using the same procedure as the DOS disk label approach, except that the partitions are referred to as letters instead of numbers. There is N to make for partition letter. Setting partition type is slightly different because the numbering scheme is different. One is swap 8 is x2. And you finish right. Okay, fine, but somehow just can it be that nobody in decades tested this? Hello, I ask you to create a BSD disk label and you don't want to do it. Why? I slightly wonder if our kernel even has BSD disk label support. I'm not sure about this. BSD disk label is not set. I guess we need to rebuild our kernel. Oh man, that is a first. I thought I never in my life need to use this bloody BSD disk label things again. But there is always a first for everything. Yeah, there you go. So we can already rebuild Alpha to Linux. Also, you know what we need to do? Also one directory, but I anyway wanted to increase the parallel to auto because 10 doesn't cut it on Epic thread ripping. Yeah, welcome everyone. Hope you all are doing fine and enjoy this excursion to Vintage Retro, DEC, Alpha, AXP, 64-bit. RISC, BSD stuff. So yeah, not really sure I have the feeling. Let's you know what, let's try with maybe wipe f. Oh wait a second, let's maybe print that so we maybe can recreate and reuse that just in case if it's possible. And wipe fs like that, like that. Okay, maybe we can't. Does it even do something? Does it even... Why is it not doing something? Oh, hey. Ach. Alright, if we... okay, doesn't matter. We have so much to preserve something. I hope it re-roll. Okay, so now let's try. Okay, no, we can't reuse it anyway. So BSD disk label. Why does this not work? Are you kidding me? Or oops. I have some of the feeling this doesn't really do much. Yeah, if you use vintage and retro stuff, of course, his bitrot and stuff doesn't work. Where is fdisk in? Due to Linux. Does it not support disk labels because there is no disk label age? There is some label BSD. Yeah, so this is a recurring theme of not only of what's not tested is like the only constant for changes and regressions, and what's not tested is broken, and so on. Maybe B only enters, so do we need to create that first? Or does it create this? Okay, maybe I misunderstood this. No, I think this doesn't work. This is really lame, but doesn't surprise me. A BSD Sun disk label can create, so we have disk labels, BSD. BSD label is usually nested within a DOS partition. Oh, come on, folks. You had me at BSD label is usually nested within a DOS partition. So yeah, so much to this is not helpful. Partition A should start about 1 megabyte into the disk. Don't start at sector 1, typically sector 10, for example. Needs plenty of space writing. Boot block. There's a bug, no kidding, in some versions of fdisk, which makes the disk look 1 sector bigger. It's like off by 1. Nothing like off by 1 on your fdisk. Create disk label is correct. The last sector partition C is correct. The default last sector create new partition is 1 too big. Always just for the extra yada yada. Yes. So yeah, that didn't go well. So yes, that is pretty lame, but here, why is here only create a new label? Or maybe it's not just not documented. Maybe we need advanced mode. What was advanced expert mode? Ah. Okay, here is. No, this is still not. This expert mode is also not helpful. Yeah, something is broken there. That is really unfortunate. So much to quickly finalize the release with some support there. That went very well. Where did I even build the kernel? Was it this? Yeah, here. Good. Yeah, that is always a little bit demotivating. You want to support some stuff and everything you touch is somehow broken. Okay, config BSD disk label. There we have that. Do we need anything else? That is funny. Do we need this OSF thing? Do we support this for all? But no, it doesn't matter. Yeah, so that is rather annoying. Util Linux does not handle OSF disk labels on non-alpha? Yeah, in 2023 you even need to write a new fdisk for your microkernel. What should I say? Install Util-Linux, get a disk with an OSF1 disk label, try to edit the partition tables. Alternative, install Util-Linux, tell fdisk to use a disk, tell it B for disk label, actual result, it says there is no OSF disk label, tries to make a DOS partition. If you tell it B, it complains that there is no expected results, get rid of the there's. Yeah, I would agree, and this bug is already from freaking 2005. If you rebuild Util-Linux with O1 pipe, does it, what the fuck? What is wrong with those people? If you mind, sure, compiler optimizations and stuff, but Util-Linux fdisk isn't very friendly, no kidding. The code has a lot of macros to compile its support for diff symbols. Really only enables OSF handling on alpha systems, so don't bother trying to asset anything else for now. Upstream fdisk is broken, this way is parted for now. Think it supports us. You can't make this stuff up, but we are building for alpha. It's like, yeah, it is. Of course it's broken. Of course it's broken. Yeah. We could quickly check whether a part that does something very even here is. Do we have part? Why don't we have parted? Or did I remove it because it sucked? It is possible that I removed it because it sucked. Okay, I moved it to 60. Why did I use it? Move it to... Maybe we should have it actually... Do I have any changes here? Oh, of course I have changes. And no, USB froze. Cool. Speaking of hashtag peakbugs, of course, a good old streaming from a Steam Deck, Steam Dock. That's of course it has AMD GPU. Like if you dongle, the year of the dongle. If you dongle your life, then you deserve MST, USB-C, IAT mode, max. I probably should. I'm surprised so that Steam Deck and AMD GPU don't get all the stuff together. But yeah. So, it is a sad life. That is the thing, right? Code theory, code and hardware therapy live on this channel. That's what depresses me so much, right? The state of peak bugs, like everything you touch is untested and broken and bit rotten and stuff. So that was, what was it even? And then we have, like, now let's commit this together. And then I committed this only not to have even more accumulated random changes, of course. That was 60, I believe. Not even sure why I moved this. Maybe it failed for other stuff. So let's build alpha. That probably should, yeah, reconfigure. And let's maybe see if we can. Also, yeah, like maybe since 2005, like people probably knew that this fdisk thing doesn't really do much with BSD disk level since 15 years, but did someone, like over 15 years, but did someone freaking, is it even 18 years? Did someone touch it? Probably not. It's okay. Internet says that you first have to create a DOS label first and then change the type to FreeBSD? I didn't see that though. I mean, one side mentioned label in DOS, but I mean, we have so it has a DOS label, right? Or do you mean that one here? And then there is no BSD partition on, so like not really, unless did this build a alpha var adm lock parted, yeah. Okay, let's re-ISO that. What was first? First is ISO prefix, so that is ISO, oops, shit. Alpha, I believe that, yeah. Let's reboot. This did of course not yet fix fdisk, but u2 Linux 38, if that is the latest version, leave in the comments below. There are actually FS disks, there are some alpha defined, static alpha checksum. So it is indeed true that there are some tests. Since version 230 supports partition type names and input ignoring the is alphanumeric. Fdisk if is okay. This is alpha since this is other stuff. I mean, there's in libfdisk BSD alpha fdisk partition types. We access this through UN64 when checksumming. Alpha boot block. Alpha I64. This checks. Boot block checksum. BSD DDoS part. So basic machine should be, there's alpha EV5-Cray. Yeah. But it's on config sub anyway. So where is the freaking fdisk? Maybe tools? Checksum, repeat, tools, text utils. This utils, hardware clock. Disk utils, there is. So yeah, this needs some real debugging in some way, shape or form. Term, parted, or did I remove parted so that it is not the first show? Oh no, we have it in, yeah, whatever. Parted, def sda, do they have, what would be the mk, create a disk, new disk label, mk label bsd. The existing disk label will be destroyed and all data, yes. Partition type bsd. Oh. Do they not have a right? Alright, I think this stuff is instant, right? And I'm not the greatest fan of parted. As more featured it is, but hey, now it has disk label type bsd. So it just is too stupid. So it has probably since nearly 18 years a bug of. It's like, yeah, if you're wondering I'm overly negative, unreasonably depressed, or make too much code therapy fun of hashtag peak bugs, yeah, 15 years. Yeah. Does not someone have a hardware donation? I really need to dig alpha for all the work supporting everything. Don't I deserve the real thing? I even, yeah, would screw some solar panels on the balcony to cover the electrons. So what happens if we, yeah, so this is partition number A2P. So so default, so first sector they want is for, was it 1024, I believe. Let's maybe make this around, how should we, how many gigabytes? Okay, it doesn't really matter too much. Let's try, how large is this? 16 gigs virtual. Was it the syntax? I forgot. Size 10 gig. So type, however, so these are these different types. of first time I use this fun stuff. Just that we're not going to use X4, right? Does A-boot even have support? Ah, shit. What file systems can A-boot load? Let me guess, only X2? Ah, details. A-boot. Alright, git check. One of those, and probably not too many changes in a decade. X4 age, wow. Maybe they can read X4, maybe? Maybe not. Okay, maybe we wanna. Okay, maybe we want actually. So then the thing is. Okay, I mean, the thing is in QEMU, I can unfortunately, the boot code we are working on, I can't test because the QEMU firmware doesn't have so much support to support booting Linux with real firmware emulation. So, but yeah, I mean, obviously we need to fix this partitioning thing. I mean, very theoretically, we could create all through parted, but we don't do this yet for any other architecture. So let's try a 1024. Let's give it 512M, and then B. Thank you very much. This is, yeah. For my microkernel, obviously, we need to write our own fdisk, because this fdisk sucks fucking balls, man. How can, I mean, 30 years of the brightest of Linux storage engineering, and this fdisk sucks so much from the beginning to the end. I mean, yes, partition table sucks, and they're all limited, and bugs and features and whatnot, but hey, it's not rocket science to write a fucking not annoying fdisk tool. It's like you had one effing job, right? Maybe, what is the issue? The issue is it doesn't, like, it starts at 0, which is dangerous. Then it doesn't continue with like the next continuous, it's like, like why do people create, previous video, like 10 or so, a dozen videos back on the Moment channel, like perfect code is, it's like expensive, like, no, this is the opposite of perfect code, right? We only have imperfect code, because like everything is so effing peak bugs, right? So new B and use this effing, wait, did I delete that? All right, I delete that. Also, it even allowed, like, look at this garbage. It allowed to create a partition overlapping the whole effing other partition. It's like blood pressure. You can't make this up. Let's hope that even... Hello? Did you do something? I hope that's not overlapping. So start and end, or should I have... Oh, maybe I should have manually added... let's better add one, I'm not sure if... Ah, shit. No, I made a typo. This is so ridiculous. And so we wanted boot, alright, swapped theoretically, so new C. As I said, third partition covers the whole disk, right? Would this be? Okay, whatever. Yeah, there's the types, of course, the types are unused because, no. So that type should be X. I mean, the types are mostly garbage anyway, so I guess we have swap at the end, so C should be, I mean, probably doesn't matter. I mean, yeah, probably doesn't matter, really. And yeah, so basically some types are version 6, 7, 5, BSD, 8th edition, and Linux, ISO, whatever. So, also type for B of 8, and then write this shit down. Let's hope it effing even wrote it. 6022. It's like, yeah, 2023, and in bloody fdisk you need to manually off by one math double check your bloody partitions. Like it's. So did the Linux kernel do something? The Linux kernel did something amazing. At least that did something, and let's reinstall it because now we repartitioned our freaking disk. So we need. Let's be exotic and use XFS because channeling and performance. Then our good old-fashioned X2. You know what? I also pro tip need to add this to my to-do, which is also like on a public holiday, on your begging for donation and YouTube subscriptions live stream, you add like you quickly want to implement one thing of your to-do and you add to new because everything is so buggy, right? Also, this is the wrong to-do. That is the right to-do here because obviously you have 20. So, if we ever have too much time and donations, Patreon, GoFundMe, OnlyFans, YouTube membership, fix util Linux fdisk BSD disk label, because nobody else did in 18 years. Improve Stone, install partitioning for alpha, BSD label and X2 boot. Yeah, you can never have too much to do. What do I SDA? So SDA was, what did I even do here? Alright, this was create a file system of X2 apparently, maybe for boot, and then of course some swap space, because wait, did I not mount this? Why is this not mounted? Why does this not mount? Which one was it? 1, 2, I lose overview. Shit, it doesn't want to mount with X2. Oh, you know what? Linux storage experts of X2 is outdated and shit. Shit. Why does the X2 or 3 or 4 code doesn't... So the problem is we probably need X2 for backward compatibility with a bloody bootloader, and the new Linux kernel might not do it like that anymore. Does it not? X3 due to feature incompatibilities. Oh, you know what? You can't mix this shit up. All I wanted was a bootloader. But there is X2. Okay, so maybe we don't include it in our init.rd because garbage. Okay, 2023, so we can't mount it, right? I mean, we can install it, and then in the time that needs to install, we can rebuild the kernel. Okay, don't mount this shit and install the other nonsense, and how did we do this with this? We have this more minimal set. If not minimal, then okay, we have this here. Okay, so then I would say in the minimal set we don't include this nonsense. That is, that I never liked, that even 20 years ago was too low quality for me. And it's like fine, and you bloody X2, for God's sake, it's you. So then we need to rebuild mk init.rd, find X2 in build alpha lib modules, yeah, X2. And rebuild the effing kernel just for the bloody init.rd. You can't mix this stuff up. That is set. It is what it is. Yeah. I believe the QEMU DEC alpha emulation appears to be significantly faster than Spark. It might be coincidence. It might be more optimized or with all our T2 progress or whatnot, but at least in previous years, the using this Spark was significantly slower. Maybe due to register windows or something of that sort, and so on. I mean, it's installed quite reasonably fast, so that was quite painless. Yeah, how much energy do we consume doing that? 168 watts, which is also what the DEC Alpha probably would have consumed. At least the fast one or an SMP one. Let's maybe alright. Oh no. Yeah, so we only added X2 there. That probably shouldn't have a typo. Can we also... Hello? Does it do something here? Okay, no, it does something. Yeah, I also need to fix someday some command line to leave the terminal in this raw state instead of military. Whatever the... Probably need to read the terminal standards to precisely know what that is. Not even terminal escape, is it raw or what is it? What is this mode called? Oops, not it. Yeah, whatever. Okay, so that probably was that, except that we probably should be ready soon. Yeah, we actually need to reinstall it. You know what? Let's reboot that and do that kinda proper. I could directly boot installed kernel, but doing that in the installer, we need to manually otherwise mount it and extract it anyway. Why does it take so long? Oh, this is already mostly done. Oh, no, it's done. So this is the ISOFS we need to rebuild for the ISO init.rd. Why does this not work? What? What have I done now? Don't tell me I formatted. Did I wipe the wrong disk? Don't tell me I installed on the ISO. Or let's see if that works now. That was root, not existing. And x2, not existing. Ah, now it works. Amazing. So create activating swap space, and so the only thing now is okay. So this stuff was enough to upset. This is the terminal state. Yeah, not impressed. So let's. Was the mount move from boot to media? Ah, so it was. So move all the boot stuff to media, to here, and some boot. Okay, that is there now. Then mount, move that back, and then install, because we rebuild the kernel, so we need kernel, we need to update that. So this funny stuff, this advanced stuff you can do with I meant finish. So this fancy stuff you can do, not that you usually need to do, but if you need to do that, you could even, like with RPM and tab systems and stuff. Yeah, this is tabs and stuff. Cares, fine. Probably that. Sync. Yeah, that is syncing along. Then kill install. So normally you would of course finish that. And then we can use a non-installer, doesn't matter too much, but just in case. Oops. And root equals fsd 2. Oh, that does something. Amazing. Yeah, and that's, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, why the only substitute for testing is more testing, and obviously implementing all these vintage details. Yeah, if you want me to fix fdisk for BSD disk labels in util-Linux, you know why this is, by the way, hanging so long. I have the feeling there's some interrupt SMP handling glitch. Potentially, maybe, or it just takes so long. Probably, or it could be UDEF cold plug event generation stuff and loading kernel modules, so it is possible. So yeah, if you want me to fix BSD disk labels, or probably better implement them in new C++ or Rust or Zig or stuff for my microkernel, share, like, subscribe, Patreon, GoFundMe, YouTube membership, and so on. So is that mounted? It is mounted, hopefully as X2, yes it is. So, by the way, how did we, right, this was swrite boot for, what was the syntax? Disk and boot files, so dev sda of boot, boot lx. Wait, now it works! Yay, we have a BSD disk label. So that is what we were testing. Now we can actually add this code after we checked out our code again. And then hopefully, so yeah, the kernel stuff we rebuild, also we need to commit this in a second. And yeah, initRD, like, yeah, 2023, you need X2 in the initRD in case you put it on DEC alpha. Yeah. That's life. Probably could already multitask, and why did I even, yeah, you know, we could actually rebuild all also, with like 60 seconds delay or so, because we edited the, I'm not rebuilding the initRD, but we edited the selection so that parted is in like basically testing. What's this? I hope this would rebuild this, right? Not because I'm not sure why I removed parted, just to double check that parted actually builds for some architectures. So architecture alpha. Enable BSD. bsd disk label, commit, and then target generic package cell. Yeah, if it doesn't build for something. Yeah, there is, what is it? That is Musel. Yeah, let's wait a second, but commit already. Okay, init.rd. Include x2 in init.rd. Again for vintage. Boot. I mean, the irony is we don't need it to boot, right? The irony is we only, because we reuse the same init.rd for the installer, which obviously makes sense. We don't have, it sounds hilarious or simple, but we don't have architecture, like software architecture, to add other optional, extended, whatever stuff to, I mean, like kernel modules, right? It's not that much code, but it would be really ugly code for those init.rds. Unpack the kernel, get some, like, and then dependencies, and I was like, better keep it simple, although it means wasting some kilobyte on the PS3, which you don't need, and vintage for boot on vintage systems like Alpha or Spark, just in case. I mean, you don't need it really for Spark and HPP risk, but maybe sometimes you would in some combinations. I just mentioned it there. Otherwise, mostly Alpha. So T2 image should be okay. Doesn't matter. Let's get to code. So that was boot, and so swrite. So that is the, let's install that. So that is copy stone to etc stone d mod aboot sh or so. Stone aboot does not appear to be configured automatically. Install aboot. No. Yes, please. Okay, that's not aboot. Okay, so yeah, root SDA2 boot. So yeah, okay, this is all correct. So we only need to. All right, we started. Yeah, we probably did we? Oh no, maybe we didn't lose any code even. So can we even, you know what, term equals Linux for some good syntax highlighting fame to please you playing along at home. Aboot install, where do we have aboot install aboot, so that would be swrite boot, swrite boot, swrite boot. What even was there? Alright, we need that is it. So swrite boot. What was the boot dev? Boot dev? Yeah, of course. Oh, is it? Actually, we need the disk. And we need to remove numbers. So I mean, it's a quick hack, but I like remove any kind of numbers. reinstall a boot. Calling is right. Did it do something? So it's also not really calling, right? Calling is right boot. Even did this command do something? S right boot dev, okay, it apparently did what it was supposed to do. Not really a fan of calling this. It's not really calling. A function call, I would not. Nah. You know what to do. SED all stone boot modules as calling, running, or whatever. Because it's copied from Zelo, so that is a thing there too. There is something, why are those, or maybe the Linux, so that needs an X, and that needs an X, that is why that was empty. Because not worthy observer might have observed that this aboot.conf was empty. So 0. Alright, we still need the partition number there. Otherwise it looks relatively okayish, but we need the partition number. How do we best extract that from there? I'm really not a fan of these old-fashioned bootloaders from decades ago, from yesterday. I mean, there should not be numbers in there. Can we never tried that. No, I don't remember at least trying that. So boot device. Can we invert those? Not, oops. I mean, okay, otherwise we could open code it, but can we not 0 to 9? Should this not be, not 0 to 9 ends. Okay, no, we actually, what, not 0? Wait, why does this not? This should be the longest match of not 0 to 9 somehow. Why does this not include slash? I would sort. Okay, fine. I mean, this would be a little bit of. Okay, this works. What's this? Is this the finest match? So this, how does this work? Does it work by pure chance and accident? So it's the longest match of everything to not 0 to 9. I mean, I would have expected this to work too. Why does this not work? Why does this not 0 to 9? Or do I mean, this works. Maybe we use it. I have the feeling that... I have the feeling it might come back bite me. But, so parts, so that would be... Did I copy everything or just... so that is boot dev. That probably... Yeah, it's not the finest shell wildcard, but as long as it works. Okay, 0. Okay, that is the index. That is a partition. That is a file name. I guess that looks like it could work. And that is probably good enough for today. Yay! This is T2, package boot a boot, copy, probably copy, the shell size editing stuff. So much to use Control R reverse search stuff for terminal editing too shitty to not be able to modify it. Mod a boot to store mod a boot. So yeah, this broke a little bit of stuff not knowing how large the terminal is. S write boot, boot, Alex, that's like so how do we call this most professional? Finalized initial thread. Still not able. Something of that sort, I would say. And it's probably it for this video. The only thing is, so yeah, the other thing is, by the way, does the hardware clock stuff? Somehow it's off, not really sure why that is off though. Maybe it has a year 2000 bug. Not really sure why this is off. But we need to rebuild. Where is this hanging? Hello? Ah, this is rebuilding also. It's not hanging. Oops, wrong. I meant here, too many terminals. And alpha, let's alpha rebuild a boot. And last but not least, clock this to HC, UTC. Does it do something? Does this now? There must be, actually, you know what, it can't be, was it like 20 years off? What was it? 2023, 5. So yeah, it was exactly 20 years off, so maybe there's a, like, some kind of QEMU bug? That it's, I mean, it can't be a coincidence that it was like, it was precisely 20 years off, so whatever that is about. Maybe some bug that you might, like, people are asking, hey, what should I start to learn stuff like, hey, you want to fix a potential 20, I mean, maybe it's intentional for unbreaking old software, but it's a little bit strange. Probably, yeah, whatever. Like, if you research it, leave in the comments below. So yeah, then we have that alpha, then like rebuild, just in case. Yeah, so nothing like supporting DEC alpha like nobody else. As always, if you have further tips and tricks and information and DEC alpha to donate, or just send us some money or patch on GitHub to buy one, just for our museum collection. Probably, if it continues like this, maybe one day and open a computer vintage and retro Unix museum somewhere, like maybe in Berlin, maybe not. Yeah, that's how you continue to develop, test, quality ensure, and Linux distribution, and keep everything in working order. I hope you enjoyed this and learned something. Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe. Have a good day or night, and to see you soon for the next fun video stuff to come.